Hi friends, how's it going? My name is Joy and this is INxJOY, and today's big card we're going to look at the question of where have I grown/evolved as a soul? We have 4 piles for you to choose today. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, this is pile 3, and this is pile 4. You can always pause the video here to see and meditate on your pile, but if you already know, timestamps will be listed down below as always. And if you're still here, the inspiration for this video is in conjunction with the Sagittarius full moon, although all my readings are timeless. This particular video is harnessing the energies of the full moon in Sagittarius, of being able to question our beliefs, understand where we've grown, how we've evolved, and really get into the deeper meanings of what our soul evolutions are and what we're learning on this beautiful heaven we call Earth. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, I'll see you at your pile. Hi, pile 1. If you've chosen this card, then this is your reading. Today we're looking at the question of where have I grown/evolved as a soul? This will be the thematic card of what we're mainly talking about, and then we're going to pull more tarot cards just to get a deeper look. Yeah, okay. So, where have my pile 1s grown/evolved as a soul? Vibration. The affirmation is, I choose a higher vibration. The practical step is, I remove negativity. So, and this card says, negative words and emotions lower our body vibration. To raise our vibrations to the highest level, we must change a negative into a positive. Okay, I feel like in regards to how you've grown as a soul, it's not necessarily that like bad stuff don't happen in your life. It's more of the fact that you are no longer succumbing to those negative words that might be surrounding you. I'm also seeing a lot of doom scrolling right now. So you also might be changing the ways in which you consume content. So you might still be consuming the same content, but it might be more as of you're not letting it affect you as deeply. And if you are still consuming the same content, I don't think you're consuming it to the same degree as you once were. For example, the next lines of this are, gossip is harmful and hurtful, walk away and or request that it stop. Pessimism lowers our energy vibration, provide an alternate thought for those who enjoy pessimism. It feels like the next one is, anger can sometimes be diffused, but maybe not at that moment. It may be best to walk away. So it kind of feels like I'm just seeing a lot of the internet. It feels like in regards to how you're changing your vibration, it doesn't feel like it has to do with anyone but yourself in regards to the content you consume, especially when it comes to things like gossip, things like clickbait, things like more pessimistic post, you know? I feel like if you are one of my activists, one of my humans who love humans, one of my viewers who is actively trying to inform people and stop the genocides happening all over the world, whether that be in Palestine, in the Congo, in Sudan, and all the disastrous things going on in the world, like in Haiti and the Philippines, and there's a lot, even in your own country, even if those are your countries, then obviously those countries, but even within your own country, where that genocide might not isn't particularly happening like that, but other different systemic forms of oppression are happening. For example, if you live in where I do, like Canada or in the US, because or like in Brazil or in like Prague, like it feels more like if you're not in a country that is actively going through physical means and very open warfare accounts, it feels like your country also is going through forms of systematic oppression, whether that be through capitalism, consumerism, patriarchal policies being put into place. For example, in Canada, the conservative government is trying to pass a policy where reproductive rights for women, meaning abortions, would be made illegal, which is absolutely wild and disgusting. But things like that, it feels like if you consume those types of content, you're no longer letting the negativity and the pessimism that comes with that kind of information affect you as hard. And as someone who also consumes that kind of content myself, I can recognize and understand how difficult and how draining it can be going through and seeing the world in such a horrid state of affairs, Sometimes it can make our emotions feel like there's hopelessness or devastation, depression, especially existential dread, But it feels like other than succumbing to those types of emotions and behavioral patterns, it feels more like you use it as a fuel so that any little thing that you do throughout your day, whether that is like you make a post about what's going on in the world, or you have conversations about it with your friends, or you're consuming content that gives you more insight and perspective about the world, or you're donating, or you're fundraising, or you're collaborating with others or creating communities, whatever it may be that you're doing, the more negative sides, the more like the truthful sides, but like the more depictions of the horrendous tragedies that are going through the world, other than just keeping to that kind of way of being, it feels like you're turning that tragedy into a comedy, or like you're turning that tragedy into action. It feels more like you're taking those emotions and letting it be the fuel for how you conduct and condone your life. You're using those beliefs that you have about the world, the information and the analyzation that you are doing in regards to how you perceive the world. You're taking that and you are making purpose of your life. Yeah. And the thing is, decolonizing yourself as a person is probably one of the most spiritual things that you could do in this lifetime, since colonization is a pretty recent thing in regards to human history. It's only been around for a couple hundred years, and so being able to actively go through that ancestral trauma, to go through those very present day effects of what's happened in human history and say, no, this isn't right. No, maybe imperialism isn't the greatest. Maybe we shouldn't be going to other countries and extracting their resources and then putting them into slave labor and then profiting off them. Maybe we shouldn't be doing that. Doing that work, especially doing that inner work, is something that's very intense. That is something that you have the privilege of this lifetime to be able to be aware of, because you are brilliant, you are so smart, that you have the privilege to really understand it, dissect it, and then change it. And once you see it, it's like you can't unsee it, you know? And you see all the ways in which different facets of how the world works kind of condone the behaviors of things that shouldn't be condoned, you know. I know one of my favorite readers on this platform, her name's Madison, or Esotero. She really much vehemently, I'm not saying that word right, but she really does not like Nestle, for good reason. Nestle is a terrible corporation that steals water and then resells it and then destroys ecosystems and communities, and there's a very valid reason to why she hates it, but it might be something like that. And like, there's different ways in which you really are using your platform, your voice, to disrupt and change the societal behaviors in regards to what is going on in the world, you know, big or small, you know. It doesn't matter if you have 2 followers or 2 million followers. It doesn't really matter. You're using your voice in whatever which way you can to inform people, hey, this is not right. This is affecting people, the environment, animals, you know, and this isn't right. We should change this. We should change how this goes about. We should change the practices in which this operates. Uproot and systematically divest in different corporations to really make their money hurt, to make their wallets hurt, to make it hurt where it means the most to them. Because a part of doing this work is also understanding the intersectionality of how class, race, and gender all come into play when it comes to the systematic oppression of what's going on in the world. And that's not easy work. That's a lot to digest, you know? It's like kind of stepping out of the real world into the matrix kind of deal, like, or the matrix into the real world, sorry. You know, it's like, it's very eye-opening. And wanting to change and do better and make sure that we can enjoy things without going through harsh and harmful practices is what's really necessary right now. And I feel like in regards to the vibration that you're choosing, other than sticking to the negativity of, oh, it's always gonna be like this, we're just gonna die from global warming, or unalive because of global warming, you're not. You're saying, hey, maybe this is our time to change things. This is our time to make meaning of our lives. If we're going to live this one life, might as well make the most of it and change these awful practices and make it into something that's more productive in regards to being able to hold up human life, hold up livable wages, hold up environmental practices that should be in place, you know? Okay, so off of one card, that's a a lot. But let's continue and see how or where you have grown as a soul. When you transform or remove negative energy, you're choosing a higher vibration. Refuse to accept negativity around you. Yeah, so it really does feel like you are transforming. It's not like you are removing negativity by actively engaging in more community-based, more ecologically friendly, more socially aware content. But it's like you are choosing to really understand that and then do practices and actions in which you uphold your beliefs, you know? It feels like you don't buy from McDonald's anymore. You have canceled your Disney subscription. You don't buy from fucking Puma. Or you try your best not to buy from companies that have harmful practices. And it's a lot of work. There's a lot of companies that do a lot of bad shit. So like, it's a lot of work to be able to really uphold and keep your beliefs and continue to do that. So yeah, do the best you can with what you got. No one's perfect, you know, but as long as you're trying, then you're doing great, sweetie. Okay, so how about how one's grown and evolved as a soul? You have the Knight of Cups. You also have the World. And I love that for you. It feels like you are ending cycles. You are ending a lot of cycles and you're doing it with love. The Knight of Cups is all about love, being able to offer that cup, offer that hand, just kind of be that person who leads with love. And you're showing the world how that's possible. You're showing the world that it's not only possible but necessary for us to continue to live and to continue to enjoy our life. Like, it's being able to free everybody and not indulge in practices that harm or harm people, you know? This is a very stressful like scenario, but I feel like you're doing it with such love and grace and kindness, especially kindness. Because there are people out there who do it with very malicious intent, and that is the difference of staying in the more negative vibration. You know, those that want to hurt people because of the bad that's happening in the world, that's moot. That's not the purpose of what their soul's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be taking that and transforming that and leading with love, leading in a way that frees all people, not by threatening people, not by guilting or shaming people, but by opening up the conversation and leading in a way that's like, hey, like, maybe you didn't know this or not, but like this, like for example, there's this whole thing, if you watch Danny Gonzalez, he's a YouTuber who right now is being kind of harassed in the comments for buying a Starbucks drink. And the thing is that he's very much said he's pro-Palestine, and so his mistake. Also, by the way, Starbucks has donated to the relief efforts in Gaza. Starbucks has also unionized its workers and allowed for that unionization. People can change. Companies can change, by the way. But yeah, like people are just harassing him in the comments being like, you're such a bad person, you're causing the genocide, all these different things that kind of put a sour note to what activism is for, which is bringing awareness, coming together as a community, and holding people accountable in ways in which are more productive. You know, that's not a productive way of holding someone accountable. Holding someone accountable is saying, hey, like, I know you did this, but next time maybe go to a local cafe and get your coffee. You know, if you're having a hard time, like, and you're like, you don't have enough time, just go somewhere else. You know, other than harassing people to persuade them to join your cause, that's no way in which someone will feel the need to listen. You know, people listen when you lead with love, you lead with understanding, you lead in a way where you can actually have the open conversation, and they come to the realization of, yeah, maybe what I did was wrong, and maybe I can change that in the future. Woo! This is 20 minutes. Yeah. So, I'm getting that's really it. With this world card, I'm gonna just do a little bit more because I feel like it. With this world card, I mentioned it previously, but you are ending cycles. The world is the end of the major arcanas, and it really speaks towards having this dance cycle of life really come to a close, and recognizing that it's cycles, it's cyclicals. After the world comes the fool again. And so it is paramount that you continue to do what you're doing. You are healing the world, because I'm being drawn to the helix wand that a lot of health practitioners use as a symbol for healing. So you are healing the world, you're doing the work, you are actively changing the minds and hearts of people, and you're doing it in a way where you are being protective of yourself. You know, you no longer engage with people who are not willing to listen, you know? People who just don't want to listen, you no longer are succumbing to those unproductive fights, unproductive conversations. You are really taking a stronghold by being really fixed in your beliefs and your opinions, of your analyzations about the world, of the information that's been brought to you, and you are making a difference into changing people's lives. You know, like you might it's kind of like when Beslan really praised the college students for making that active difference, putting those encampments up, and showing the world that it's possible to change. It's possible to love. It's possible to make others divest and see something that they're blind to see or have a hard time seeing. So, yeah. Continue to do the work, my beautiful babies. You are actively changing the world, and you give me so much hope and love and make me feel less alone. So thank you for being you. Thank you for doing the work. And, you know, fuck genocide. All right. Till next time, take care. Hi, my Faltus. If you've chosen this card, then this is your pile. So we're asking the question of, where have I grown / evolved as a soul? And so let's get started. You have intuition. I don't know if you can see that. One sec. All right. The affirmation is, I listen to my intuition. Practical step is, I list my intuitive messages. So in regards to where you've grown / evolved as a soul, it feels very much like you are really with yourself. You are with your soul. You are listening to your higher self. You're listening to your soul activations. It feels like you're trusting yourself again. You're trusting yourself again. We are all intuitive. How many times have you thought something was going to happen and it did? You didn't take the umbrella even though you thought you should, and it rained. He knew who was on the telephone before answering it. Invite intuition to be more prominent in your life. This is great. I'm thinking of my partner right now, because right now he's getting a lot of intuitive hits in regards to knowing when things are going to happen, and I think that's so amazing for him. It's so beautiful to see someone who's he's not necessarily spiritual. He doesn't he's more what is it? What's on my tongue? What's it called again? It's like when you don't have a denomination for your spiritual beliefs, but you're not atheist, you're like agnostic. That's the word. Yeah, he's more agnostic. But yeah, so it's anyone can be intuitive, but listening to your intuition and really trusting yourself, that's another deal. A lot of us have gone through gaslighting, which has made it really hard to listen to our own intuition. I know personally I've gone through a phase in my life where I was a little bit too trusting of others and not trusting of myself. And so it led me to believe things that I knew was true, but other people were telling me it wasn't. So it was a really big journey for me to get back into my intuition and really listen to myself and really trust myself this way. And I'm saying this because I hope you don't feel alone in regards to going through that journey, going through that process in life, because it happens, We sometimes need that detour, sometimes need that rerouting in order to really cement where we want to go in life. Yeah, sometimes we have those side quests in our life that make us kind of slow down a little bit to recognize our abilities, to develop our character, our beliefs in who we are, and trust ourselves once again. Invite intuition to be more prominent in your life. Frequently, intuition occurs when you are totally immersed in something. Intuition is very gentle. Be aware of that inner voice. Start a journal listing your intuitive messages. This shows the universe you're ready and willing to use your intuition. So, there's a saying in the spiritual community that anxiety shouts, but intuition whispers. It's very much how you can tell the difference in your head, whether or not you're freaking out about something, or if it's an intuitive hit of trying to let you know about something. Again, it's always gentle. It never is something that will be aggressive in regards to being like, no, you should do this. If you don't do this, you'll die. That's never the case. I keep saying that. If you don't do this, you'll unalive yourself. Sorry. But it's more of the understanding of you know when you know. And if it feels like it's too attached to you, where you don't get to make the choice, where you don't have the freedom to choose your intuition, that means that's your anxiety. That means that it's something that's trying to get you to do something, but it's not really your free will. Because at the end of the day, everyone has free will to do things. Everyone has the ability to choose in regards to how they condone themselves. So, like, you know this, though. I feel like I'm just confirming things to you that you already know. Because, again, this is how your soul's grown. This is how you have grown and evolved as a soul. In regards to, like, your intuition, you're able to trust yourself more, which is something beautiful to see. Okay, let's get some more deeper messages on where my pile twos have grown. You have the 10 of Pentacles and Queen of Swords. I love that for you. So it feels like, especially in your home life, you have been able to be in this Queen of Swords energy and speak your truth. In your home life, with your family, it feels more like with your family or with your partner, in the home that you reside in. This is like fourth house energy stuff, like the place where you live, the place that's like the most intimate for you, as like a space of where you call home, you know. You have, and with those people, especially those people who are closest to you, your immediate family, your family that you have chosen, those things, you're able to really speak your mind and really tell your truth and really communicate what you want out of things now. And that's how your soul has grown. It's not only that you listen to your intuition, but you are vocalizing that to people you might have had a hard time standing up to before. It feels like you are this lighthouse for a lot of people. And because of your kindness, because of your gentle, sweet side, people take advantage of that. And so now you are in this Queen of Swords energy where you are backing up what you say. You know, you are standing firm and standing solid in your beliefs and what you know and how you're going to present that to others. You kind of have this, it feels like in this card there are like two, like I don't know what to call them, but they're like the hybrid of a man and a cat. And so I feel like those are like your support systems. Like your intuition is your support system for allowing you to be able to speak your truth, speak what you know, speak in a way which is a lot more firm, a lot more respected. And even though you are doing it with a kind heart and a loving hand, you are still doing it in a way where people like recognize where you're coming from, and you're doing it in a way where it's where they can no longer take advantage of your kindness. They see it for what it is and see that you are speaking up for yourself, you know. For example, like say you're grocery shopping with your family or something, and you have like this weird intuition that you're gonna need like a carrot for something, but like it's not on the grocery list, but you're like, oh, but I don't know why, but I'm really being pulled to these carrots right now. And like, so other than listening to your family, because you tell your family, you're going to be like, oh yeah, like I really want to buy these carrots. And they're like, why? And you're like, oh, just because I want to. And they'll be like, no, I don't think we should. Other than just being like, oh, okay, we really shouldn't. You're going to be like, no, I really want these carrots for the week. Can we have these carrots for the week? And you're going to be a lot more assertive in regards to what you want. And then they'll be like, okay, fine. And then lo and behold, you're making a lasagna and you need carrots in the recipe or something like that, you know? Or lo and behold, you have a craving for carrot soup. And so like your intuitive messages are something you are really holding firm and strong, and you're really honoring that side of you. You're really honoring the ways in which you support yourself. And that's one of the ways in which you are also making this relationship with yourself, with your higher self, with your intuitive self, and you're giving yourself that trust and love back. You're giving yourself that honor and respect of standing up for yourself and really being grounded in your opinions, your beliefs, your intuitive messages. Okay. Yeah, this one's a little bit of a shorter one, but that's where you've grown, such evolved as a soul. It's being able to really listen to yourself, really being able to stand up for yourself and give yourself a safe space in your own body, mind, and soul. So yeah, thank you for tuning in and listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you lots. Bye. I have Pile 3. If you've chosen this card, then this is your pile. So today we're looking at the question of where have I grown / evolved as a soul? And yeah, let's get into it. So you have the card happiness. Affirmation is my thoughts create my reality. The practical step is I choose happiness. Have you ever noticed how easily you can create a bad mood? How easily you can turn a little conflict into a big issue? You create your thoughts, which create your reality. If you are happy, your thoughts created happiness. There's no reason why you can't be happy. Choose to be happy. Choose to detach from the issues that are outside of you. External issues do not create happiness or unhappiness. Okay. So in regards to where you have grown / evolved as a soul, this is one where you are choosing to take care of your mental spaces, especially. I'm seeing Legend of Korra when she goes into the spirit world and she transforms into a baby, not a baby, but like a little kid. And she, when she gets mad, a whole like storm comes into play. And like, then Iroh says, oh, like you created that. As long as you calm yourself down, Korra, then you can calm down the storm. And so she does that. She takes a few breaths and then lo and behold, the storm dissipates. So it feels like that's going on with you. It feels like where you've grown and evolved as a soul is through the mental facilities that you have. So it feels like you've really been working on your mental health. You either been going to therapy, you've been doing your meditations, doing yoga, taking walks, going outside, talking about your feelings. You have really gotten a grasp on being able to also emotionally manage yourself. So it's not just the mental planes, but it feels like it's the mix of your mental and emotional planes in your body. It feels like you no longer let emotions dictate your mind. If you're having a bad day or something like bothers you, it's not like you'll take it out on yourself anymore. For example, I have eczema, borderline dermatillomania, which is skin picking. And like one part of that is the shame and the frustration that I get when it happens. So like, other than succumbing to that shame or frustration, I now say to myself, hey, it's okay. It happened. It shouldn't upset you that it happened. Just know that it happened, and we're here to take care of yourself now. And so it feels like you're going through that same process of being able to really care for yourself and really make sure that even if you make a mistake, you're not doubling down on the negative emotions of like bashing yourself even further, being like, I'm so stupid for doing that. Oh, why did I do that? Like, oh my God, like no one's gonna love me. I'm not good enough because I did that. And it's like, no, you're not saying those things to yourself anymore. You're saying, no, that's a part of life. No, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. And, you know, in Hannah Montana's lyrics. But yeah, it feels like you're someone who is really talking to yourself in a more self-care, self-soothing, more nurturing and nourishing way. Other than blaming yourself for the things that happened, you take accountability and being like, okay, so how can I make this better for myself? How can I nourish myself? How can I learn from this? And prepare myself so that next time that I don't do it again. And I'm seeing 333 on the clock. So this is a very heart-centered thing for you. This is a very much a space in which you are really giving yourself that love back. That it's kind of like self-parenting. That's how it feels like. It feels like when you're doing this type of work, like this is like when each time like a bad thought comes into your head, like, I'm not good enough. You're gonna counteract that thought and you're like, why am I not good enough? Why do I feel that way? Oh, is it because someone else said it? Is it because society tells me? Well, I don't believe that. Why am I saying this to myself? I love myself. I am good enough to do this. Motivating myself more is more productive than staying in a space of self-harmful talk, you know? And I feel like that's what's happening. Other than succumbing to self-harm, you are giving yourself love. You're giving yourself care. You're giving yourself a space of forgiveness and recognizing that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to forgive yourself for those mistakes. It's okay as long as you learn from what's happened and do your best next time. No matter how long those next times take for you to get it, you're going to still love yourself. You're still going to be there for yourself. And you know that talking to yourself badly about whatever issue is going on doesn't make it any better. It just makes it so much harder to deal with, you know? It feels like how and where you've grown as a soul is that you are now able to really make friends with yourself, you know? Like, you are now able to love yourself in a way in which you love your best friend. You made yourself your best friend, basically. You're able to really like talk to yourself in ways in which love really shines through. Okay. Your perception of the issues, the thoughts, and emotions you have attached to them is what creates your reality. Reframe your thoughts to choose happiness. And I feel like that's what you're doing. You're taking the perceptions that you have and you're detaching yourself from any harmful talk, harmful behaviors, harmful actions. You are now detaching from them, being like, no, that's not me. That's not how I want to treat myself. I love myself. So how can I care for myself? What are the best ways for me to really care for myself right now. For example, if you were going through a depressive phase in your life, other than being like, oh, I'm so unproductive. Oh, why don't I have the energy to do anything? Oh, why can't I? I say that as my battery just dies. Why don't I have a full battery? You know, like, you are now able to be like, right now I need rest. Right now my body is telling me that I've gone through something intense and that I need to just focus on me and get the rest I need. And you're just being a lot more kind to yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna take a second to just change my battery. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Now that my battery is full charge, we can dive deeper in regards to where have you grown such evolved as a soul. So where have my pile of threes? Yeah, okay. You have the 10 of Wands in reverse, as well as death in reverse. And so this is basically a reiteration of what I've been saying, but the 10 of Wands in reverse. The 10 of Wands upright usually connotes a lot of hard work, a lot of frustration, a lot of energy for you to get somewhere or do something. But it feels like you no longer are having that hard of a time talking to yourself in a way which is more kind. It feels like with this death in reverse as well, that like things are ending and changing for you, but it's not the end of the world, you know? It feels like this death is in regards to yourself when it comes to how you treat yourself. It feels like, because when you have the tarot card in reverse this way, there can be multiple meanings. One could be the reverse of the card. One can be a whole new meaning of the card. Another one can be having the card be more reflective of the querent and their inner life. And that's how I'm taking this death card, is the more reflective parts of your inner life. So it feels like in regards to what is really how your soul is evolving, it's that it's going through this period of really choosing to be happy, choosing to love yourself and care for yourself and talk to yourself well, choosing to really change the narrative in which you live by. You know, it feels like you are detaching from things and no longer making it harder for yourself. Especially with this 10 of Wands, you're no longer making this harder for yourself. You know, you're no longer doubling down and making yourself feel bad for something that sometimes you can't control, you know? Like, other than... Let's also take the state of world affairs right now. Things aren't going great. There's always something that's going wrong in the world. But other than just putting all that burden on yourself, you're like my pile one. So you might have chosen two piles. But you are no longer putting that burden and sticking to that burden mindset. You are recognizing the burdens that happen, what you have control of and what you don't have control of. And you are changing it so that you are in a state where you're more productive about dealing with your emotions. You are more restful about dealing with your emotions. You're more nurturing about what you're dealing with in regards to your mindset. Other than taking a lot of things that happen on, you are doing what you can the best way you can and giving yourself the grace, courage, and pride in which you get to show up in the world, you know? And pride isn't a bad thing, you know. I keep saying you know, so you obviously know. But pride isn't a bad thing. It's when it comes to arrogance. That's when the excess of pride happens. That's when it's a little dangerous. But when you're allowed to be proud of yourself, and I think your soul wants you to know how proud of yourself you are for being able to make this milestone and evolve this way, because being able to have that loving self-care is something so beautiful, something you should be proud of. It is not an easy feat to be able to talk to yourself and in a world that's hell-bent to making you feel bad. It is an act of revolution. It is an act of rebellion. It is a radical act of self-love that you give to yourself by being able to care for yourself, nurture yourself, and provide yourself with the love and care that you need. That's something a lot of people can't do, so you should be proud of it. You should really pat yourself on the back and recognize that you've come a long way, my darling. You've come a long way in your journey of being with yourself and learning about yourself and learning how to nurture yourself. You know how to, when you're upset, that you don't lash out onto others anymore. Maybe you go take a walk, or you take a bath, or you listen to your favorite music. You have more healthy coping mechanisms now. And that's something you should be very proud of. Things will happen in life that aren't the best, but now you know how to deal with it in the best way you can. And that's, again, something that you really should take into account of how your soul has grown and evolved. And yeah. So give yourself a wonderful pat on the back. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, a nice big hug, because you really deserve it. Thank you for doing the work. Your soul is thanking you for doing the work. And I thank the divine source and your soul for coming through in this reading to give you these messages. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hi, pile 4. If you've chosen this card, then this is your pile. And today we're going through the question of, where have I grown / evolved as a soul? So let's get into it. You have the card of enthusiasm. I am enthusiastic. The practical step is I spend time doing something I love. Enthusiasm is contagious. A person who is enthusiastic is joyful and energetic, operating in a high energy flow. Enthusiasm creates optimism and unlimited possibilities. What are you enthusiastic about? Do you have a passion for learning, sports, music, creating? Sometimes we get so busy that we forget we have interests that are exciting and fun. Okay, so it feels like where you've grown as a soul is in how you spend your time. And it is kind of interesting because we have the card enthusiasm. It feels like you just have the joie de vivre, this joy of life. And we talk about this a lot on this channel, which I love. But I think continuously having that enthusiasm for life, that joy of life, to be able to do the things that you love, to engage in the passions that you love, is something that your soul is really proud of you and wants you to know that's where you've grown. Being able to take the time, the energy, the patience to put in the work of up-leveling your skills, of sticking to your hobbies and crafts, of taking care of your body by doing physical exercises. Things of that nature is something and some ways in which you've grown as a soul. Being on the physical plane is hard. You know, I have my North Node in Virgo, and I love it, but it's also kind of boring sometimes, because basically, in an astrological sense, what my mission in life is to be able to enjoy the mundane tasks, like the everyday chores and everyday work aspects. And sometimes I have a hard time doing that. Like even today, like getting myself to film has been something that has been a soul growth lesson for me right now. So it feels like I'm saying this because I want you to know that you're not alone, and that it happens to everyone. And I hope this is something that can relate to you. It's being able to continuously practice and develop yourself is something that you should be proud of. That's how your soul has grown. That's how your soul has really evolved into enjoying life again, enjoying and being enthusiastic about what you love and who you are and the things that you enjoy. Do you ever have a friend that is just has this favorite TV show and can't shut up about it? Like they love all the characters, they keep quoting the show, and they're like, you should watch it, like you need to watch this. And it's kind of endearing. It's very cute to watch your friend go through this stage of their life where they're just absolutely immersed in this thing. Or, for example, when you show someone something that you love and they get super into it, you know, like they get so involved, they're so present, and they're so aware, and they're so like, they dive deep into the thing that you love. There's something that's just so healing about that. Something that's just so enjoyable about that. You know, life has its ups and downs, but being able to enjoy the things that you love are part of the upsides. I feel like this is my pal that has just gone through some dark nights of the soul. If not, you might have gone through some depressive episodes, and you're now getting out of that back into a life in which you enjoy, back into yourself, into your body again, for you to be able to enjoy life again. You also might be someone who goes through seasonal depression, and right now it might be the opposite season. So like if you usually have seasonal depression in the winter, this might be like the spring, summertime now for you. And so you're getting back into the things that you love, the things that get you energized, the things that get you out of bed. And yeah, your soul is just so joyful and loves that you've evolved in this way. Explore your mind and see what ignites it. Take the time to do something that excites and inspires passion within you. You are enthusiastic. Yeah. It feels like you worked a lot on your mental state and being able to cultivate habits in which you can sustain a healthy wellness for your mind, body, and soul. And what part of that is also engaging in the things that you love. For example, you love tarot, you are practicing tarot. You love crocheting, knitting, then you are learning new things to knit, and you're enjoying your passion the way it is. You love cooking, you're getting new recipes for that. You love physical fitness, you are getting new ways and being inspired to do new exercises to fit new regimes for you. This is a very new, very bright, very optimistic energy that your soul wants you to recognize that you're in right now, and it wants you to enjoy it. Enjoy all this beautiful, this tasty, this scrumptious part of life. because this is a delectable meal that you're in right now. You're in a phase in your life that you are just in this high energy flow where you can get lost in hours and hours and hours of your passions. For example, you love gaming. Maybe this is, okay, this is such a thing about gaming communities. Sometimes you get into your game and then you get really into it and you can't stop playing it for like weeks on end. And then you stop for like 6 months. And then you come back to it. This is your time coming back to that game, coming back to the joy you have in playing the game. Oh, I'm also seeing Zendaya in the movie Challengers when she like gets her joy of the game back when the other two characters hug again. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen that part online. And so it feels like you have zest for life. And that's what your soul really wants you to know, how you've grown and evolved. Yeah, you have this King of Cups here. Which is it's just confirmation of how much you've like enjoyed life and are enjoying life and have this love for life, have this emotional control over your life. And again, it's not to say you don't have bad days. It's just you have healthy coping mechanisms to combat those bad days. Especially having the Two of Swords and the Seven of Wands in reverse, it feels like you are more decisive now than you were, let's say, like a week ago, a month ago. You are no longer having a lot of arguments and fights, whether that be with people or within yourself. It feels like you have this emotional management where you are more decisive and you are more diplomatic in how you condone your everyday life. Okay, you have the Page of Pentacles. And then you have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a time in where you are... This is a very new thing for you. Having the Page of Pentacles upright, to me, it just feels like you are stepping into this more new, more bright, more vivacious side to you. Kind of like a newborn baby with eyes, seeing for the first time, or getting into a hobby for the first time. It feels like, because the queens are in reverse, it feels like it's not that you're not a queen, of course, go off, queen, but like it's more of you're taking a lot of your hobbies and you are seeing them in a new light. You are seeing them in a way in which you can learn and grow. Yeah. And I feel like this Queen energy in reverse more connotes this inner mastery of being able to understand the discipline and the nurturing and the work it takes for you to get to stages of evolvement and being able to see things in a more childlike state, in a more new state. That is something that the Tao in Taoism, that's something that's really highlighted, is this ability to enjoy life again and again and again and see it through new eyes again and again and again, because being able to enjoy life is being able to see the newness of it. Novelty of life is something to be enthusiastic about. It is a skill to have. Like, a lot of people in this world become jaded because, oh, I know everything, I experienced everything. But there are so many avenues in which this newness can come about. And I think if you've ever seen the mastery of a skill in regards to what people think they know and what they actually know. You'll see this graph in which people who think they know everything about something are very they're very like, they're a beginner in that. And once you start to really get into the hobby, you'll see this dip that goes down, being like, oh, I thought I knew everything, but there's so much more to know. There's so much more to know, and there's so much more to know, until you hit this mastery and it goes like, oh, I know more things. But it never gets to the same height as that beginner mindset of, oh, I know everything. Once you continue to work on that thing, you recognize that there's always going to be more things to learn and grow and evolve that practice. There's always going to be more new things to learn and enjoy about this. You know, we have millennia of years to understand the ways in which humans have accomplished all these different skills and tasks. And I think you're just in the phase of really recognizing that you have this opportunity to dive into your joys and passions and have this novelty of life, this joy of life again, so that you can really get into the things that you love. And yeah, that's how your soul has grown and evolved. It's just having this zest for life and being in the state of discipline and hard work in order for you to level up your skills and really see the fruits of your labor, see your hobbies flourish and enjoy them as they do. Like, if you make mistakes in that hobby, they're just happy accidents. They're just learning lessons for you to understand that next time you'll do it differently. You know, you're no longer like blaming yourself for the mistakes you make. You enjoy the fact that you're making mistakes. You enjoy the fact that you have this time to be able to be patient with yourself and learn better ways in which to craft and to up-level your hobbies. So yeah, that's what I have for you. That's what your soul has for you. It's what Divine Source has for you in regards to how and where you are, where you have grown and evolved your soul. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this confirmed some aspects for you, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Love you so much. Bye.